So South Africans get this SA20 off to a flying start. At least we know that it's the South Africans that stood out in this particular match between DSG and MI in match two of the SA20. Obviously, we know that the first match was rained out, and the second one is also being affected by rain. At this stage, DSG is ahead of the DLS, and it doesn't look like they're going to come on the field again. But what a crazy game of cricket we're witnessing today, because my Cape Town put on 207 um, for five, and it was Ryan Rickelton that was absolutely superb with 87 or 51 balls, six fours and six sixes, 170 strike rate. He was absolutely phenomenal in his performance, and it was quite a shock that MI Cape Town allowed DSG to get back into the match, even though they took early wickets. Kagiso Rabada getting rid of Quinton de Kock, as well as Heinrich Klaasen in this game. But Matthew Bretsky's 39 of 24 was phenomenal. So at the strike rate of 162.50. And Heinrich Klaasen was just absolutely sublime, taking his record and his form into this particular tournament. So he was absolutely phenomenal today, and he got DSG, kept DSG in the game and ahead of the DLS. 85 of 35 balls, four fours and eight sixes at a strike rate of 242.85. He was absolutely phenomenal, and he was the standout player for uh, 100% for DSG in this particular match. It was something that we can really be proud of as a South African nation, to be able to see something so fantastic, um, and the way he approached his innings. I think it's something to be very happy about when you coming from a tournament like this and then going into a T20 World Cup very soon, that your players are performing at this level. But you have to give credit to both Ryan Rickelton and Heinrich Klaasen for the way that they performed in today's clash. For these SC20 matches, I think that what I'm going to be doing is based on whether South Africans perform or not. I will be doing this type of show where it's a South African player watch, where where I'll go live and talk about those South Africans that have performed on the day in a particular match if they've performed really well. So it will be obviously quite late, because I've noticed now that with the SA20 starting at 5:30, it's the prime slot, and it's right through the period of usually when I do my show at 7 o'clock. So I'll most likely be going live after the games for my daily shows now, so that we can incorporate everything that has happened. It will be late nights for me, and uh, it's it's probably the best time for me to obviously shoot the show at that particular time. It's either then or before the game starts. Um, but with the SA20 happening right now, and there's a game every single day, it only makes sense for me to probably go live after every match. Um, on the weekends, might be a little bit different. I might do a wrap um, on Monday, discovering everything that happened on the weekend. But during the week, I think that probably what's best on the channel is to do the shows after the SA20 games, because I know majority of you guys will probably be watching the games. So to do the show at 7 o'clock in the while the game is on doesn't seem to make logical sense at the moment. So I will be communicating with you guys. Just keep an eye out on the social media to know when we will be going live. I will be putting out the thumbnails for you guys to be able to see when we do go live for every single show. Uh, let's get into some of the comments and see what happens over here. Balai says, "Can SA win World T20?" I think if our players can bring the form that they've brought into this type of form, like Klaasen is and Ryan Rickelton is in at the moment, if all of our players can get into this form, going into a tournament like the World Cup, I think that's really possible that we can. I mean, I've always believed that our team can pose a threat and pose a challenge um, against any team in the world when they're on their day. But it's about those knockout phases. Can we get through those knockout phases? Will we be able to get over the line? Is the question. I think it's a mental block for us. Lawrence says, "What a bang to a start of the tournament. Klaasen and Rieks both absolutely amazing. We know what we want from Heinrich Klaasen, but how good was Ryan? Whenever he's left out of SS squad, he steps up his performance." Yeah, it's 100% true. It seems to be the case quite often with Ryan Rickelton. When he does get omitted from sides, then he seems to be the guy that does step up. Balahai says, should Temba be dropped in T20 and Markham it's already happened. Markham is the T20 captain, and so that's already happened. So I do think that Riza Hendricks will probably open with Quinton de Kock, but I do also think that this SA20 will be have a massive say into what will happen with that T20 World Cup squad. I think that's definitely going to be play a massive role when it comes to selecting a squad for that T20 World Cup. The SA20 is going to play its part, like Rob Walters said. He did make it very clear that the SA20 is an opportunity for guys to put up their hands for the World Cup. Um, that was like, I mean, guys like Ryan Rickelton. I mean, if some of the younger guys like Rickelton, etc., can put on performances like they did today, uh, they will we will definitely have an opportunity to be able to see guys available for that World Cup. I think that they will make a couple of changes if guys are coming off from good form. Another person that must be mentioned, like Macmillan says in the live chat here, is Matthew Beretsky. He really batted well today. It's unfortunate that he couldn't get a half century, but he got 39 of 24 balls at a strike to around 62, 4 4s and 2 6s. I think he batted really well. At that stage of the match, he kind of needed to go. So I think when Matthew Beretsky is a bit rushed, he does tend to lose his wicket quite cheaply. But I think that we saw him now already in T20 cricket and get an opportunity for South Africa in T20 cricket as an opener. So maybe he can really put on an opportunity, put up a performance that will be help him knock down that door for a T20 spot. I always thought personally that Matthew Beretsky would first make his debut in first class cricket, test cricket. That's what I always thought throughout his career. Brian asking, where is Jafra Archer? He's injured. Connor Easthuizen might just have got 17 runs today, but the way the boy strikes a ball is something to look at going forward. And once again, it's Coach Robbie who's giving youngsters a go. Robbie has always been someone that has an eye for younger talent and giving younger guys an opportunity. We've seen now with Jordan Herman, the way he's backed him. We've seen with the likes of Tristan Stubbs, how he's backed him. Um, so that is something that I think is uh, a given with Coach Robbie. He's always been that person. I mean, he was convener of selectors, not convener of selectors, sorry, he was on the Hero of the Days panels for SA schools at Kaya Majolo Weeks pretty often. He was one of the ambassadors when it comes to SA under 19 cricket. So I do think that he is a person that always does that quite well. And I think that it's something that he will continue doing. So it's good to have him in charge of a SA20 team. I've always wanted South Africa, the SA20, to have people, coaches available, local coaches that will give youngsters a chance and understand the domestic scene, so that we can see more opportunities given to South Africans. My last question is: can Yanaman Malam make a comeback? Because how he played his start of his career, he needs to get more form, a better form for Boland. For That's what he needs to do. Definitely, he has to do that. So it's something that we need to see from the likes of Yanaman Malan. He needs to get some form. He needs to get more consistency. That's something that he must do going forward. So we need to make sure that we monitor Yanaman Malan's career and make sure that I'm hoping that the coaching staff over there will also look after him at Boland and try to get him back into form. I've seen now in 4-day cricket that he switched back to opening the batting, so perhaps that will try to get him back into the form that he was when he was at the Cobras. Brian says Jafra or KG in ODI, who is better? I would always go with KG. Um, hey Khalid, DT says, hey Khalid, I'm not gonna lie, as much as people are upset about New Zealand series, I'm excited about this tournament and it got off to a good start. Yeah, it's pure entertainment. That's what the E20 cricket is. All of this is going to be um, exciting and entertaining. We're not always going to get the best of quality of cricket, but it's nice and entertaining to see guys go guns ho like tonight with Heinrich Klaasen. To see an innings like that is always going to be special. So you're not always going to get performances like that in T20 cricket. Sometimes you're going to get those 150 odd games and nobody scores a half century or nobody goes guns ho and goes crazy, and then you'll still get results. But ultimately, South Africa, the SA20, if it's anything to go by, last season was very exciting. So to get a start like this, where both sides are scoring big, it's very unlikely to see matches like that. So we are lucky that the first game that is actually being played was a game like this. Lawrence Bailey says Brennan Subrayan again showing why he's one of the best spinners in domestic game. He knows that Durban conditions to a T. Very intelligent bowler. I don't think he was at his best today, to be honest. He was decent for his 0 for 33, but I don't think it was at his absolute best. I think throughout the tournament he will continuously grow. That I do think that's what I do think will happen. Hope Kesh hasn't damaged his Achilles again, says Macmillan. TT says, will play resume after the rain delay or will there be a time limit? I don't know if play will resume. Um, I think there will be a time limit as to when the game will restart again. But at the moment, it does seem like it's not like the game won't restart from the way it's raining there currently. I haven't really heard an update. Normally, we get an update about the game uh, while these things are happening. Um, but we haven't heard anything with regards to an update of the on the rain. If it does stop this game, then my Cape Town loses and obviously DSG win because they're ahead of the Duckworth Lewis at the moment. So DLS, sorry. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with regards to the match because it's very possible that this match will be rained out for the rest of the game. Um, because it was raining quite hard at the end of this match. DT says, even though I enjoyed long formats, but it's good to have a break and see guys just going crazy with shots. And you're right, it won't always be like that. Yeah, it is entertaining, but I just don't like the period that this tournament is being held. I don't want it to clash with our longer formats. It would be nice if it was in a break between our seasons, but it's winter, so you're not going to get any cricket. Um, so it is a bit of a crappy one that if it's in this period of the year, it's going to take preference over our national side if we're playing any test cricket. So that's what I don't like. It would be a nice tournament, I think, if it didn't cause that damage to our national side. Then I would be all for. Um, then I wouldn't have any criticisms really over the tournament itself. Lawrence Bailey says we won't see a game like that in Paul tomorrow, by the way. We'll probably get 140, 160 game tomorrow. So I hope the guys watching enjoy tonight. Safa says Ryan Rickelton has been on fire. T20 formats generally not. I mean, last year's season's SA20, he wasn't necessarily at his best. T20 competitions in general, he hasn't necessarily always been on at his best. But I think in this SA20, it's a great start for him. Opening the batting, a lot of pressure in your opening match, and he did well. I've been impressed with him. I'm definitely not getting giddy tests over SA20 any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Yeah, but it's okay to enjoy T20 cricket. I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying T20 cricket. Um, it's not my favorite format, but it's nice. Like DT said, it is nice sometimes to have a break and to see guys go crazy. But I wouldn't want to see this when you know it's at the detriment of our test team. That's the only problem I have at the moment with this tournament, is that it's at the detriment of our national team. Safra says Brevers had a bad day today. Hopefully, comes back in the next game. Yeah, our younger guys, we must just be patient with them. I mean, give them some chances to really get going and get themselves settled in. Um, there's still a lot for Deva Brevers to learn, and I think that that's what we need to understand. Give the guys some chance to really get into the swing of things, and don't judge them after just one game. That's something that we must learn not to do. I'm trying to see if there's any updates regarding the game. It still says match delayed and um, rain delay. So I don't know if we're going to see an end to this match. But everything that we could have seen, everything that was stood out about this game, we've seen already. Uh, it won't be Heinrich Klaasen to take them over the line. So that is the score that he ends on, 85. And Ryan Rickelton was the other guy that obviously was fantastic. So TTC agree that's 100% true, but which window could they use though? The weather in the country in general isn't going to be that good over the next couple of weeks, so a lot of DLS method wins are coming. Brevis well, they could have had it in the same period as the ML, MSL, MLS. I was going to say MLS now. MSL. Uh, in that November December period before the test matches at the end of the year. I think that's a fine time to have it. Brevis's game awareness was poor today. He definitely didn't need to take on Kesh. That wasn't his matchup. Gene Alt says, I'm as upset as anyone over the SA20 test complications. However, for the time being, I'm going to let it all play out and see if Graham Smith's master plan works out after all. Yeah, let's see if Graham Smith's aims will come to fruition. Let's see what he says, if it is true too, if he's going to live up to what he said. Is this going to improve cricket in South Africa? Is it going to improve the development of cricket in South Africa? Is it going to give a platform? Is it going to be the savior of South African cricket or CSA when it comes to money? Let's see if it actually works out that way. We're going to have to wait, though. That's unfortunately the case. We're going to have to wait 2, 3, 4 years for us to see if this is at all what we thought it's going to be. So that's the only unfortunate thing about the situation, is that it's a waiting game. You just have to wait and see what happens. We won't know straight away whether this is going to be the correct, whether this was the correct decision until after 2, 3, 4 years. Lawrence Bailey, must I say, I was expecting more people in at Kingsby today compared to last year's first game. It was quite empty. It did look quite empty around the stadium when they threw the cameras around. Um, I don't know how many people actually started work today, and maybe that played a part in it or had an effect on the game. Macmillan says catching in the crowd was tragic today. People want to stay poor. Yeah, everybody, like not one person even came close to catching the ball. I think there was one guy that did have a one get his one hand to it, but it bounced straight out. Yeah, everybody dropped catches in the crowd. So madness. DT Harley, do you remember that about 10 years ago they said that the Champions League tournament, they had this Champions League tournament here in SA? Yeah, I remember. I heard about that a lot. It gets spoken about a lot in our the Champions League is spoken about a lot. Um, there was a period as well where I think Shukri Conrad was in charge of the Cobras, and he also took them into a Champions League, I think. TT, with the Titans, Sydney Sixers, and Lions, why did it end? And do you like the concept? I mean, it's a cool concept. Um, like having those like top T20 teams from or top teams from different countries play against each other. I think it's a cool concept, but purely for entertainment though, um, and bragging rights, I guess. Lawrence Bailey says Boland Park sold out for tomorrow, so it will definitely be a vibe in Paul. It's always is a vibe in Paul. Eugene says the lowish attendance could also be because of the weather. Yes, they probably also predicted that it was that the weather would be like this. London was 85% to 90% full. Um, so the one thing that the SA20 did promise us is crowds, um, and that it would be better than last season is what they were hoping for. It's not the best way to start a tournament when your first game is rained out, and your second game is also affected by rain. But that's not in their control ultimately. So that is what it is. Um, I'm still seeing that it's still a rain delay over there in Durban. So I don't know how long you guys are going to wait to see whether what the outcome of the game is. This is not really a review show, so I'm not really doing a match report or match review. It's more highlighting the performances from South African players that did well in the match. So I don't have to stick around until the end of the game over here, of course, to to give you guys more information on the game. I'm trying to do these type of shows where I highlight the South African players that do well, and so far, uh, it's obviously Heinrich Klaasen with his 85 of 35 balls, strike rate of 242.85, and Ryan Rickelton's 87 of 51, 170.58 strike rate, six sixes, six fours, whereas Klaasen need four fours and eight sixes. And then obviously Kahizo Rabada's 2 for 23 in his three overs. That's also a little bit of a standout. And yeah, ultimately, Dwayne Pretoria is still showing his economical self with his 1 for 15 of two overs. And that's kind of the South Africans that have performed so far in this match. And I think it was a pretty decent performance from both. Yeah, not really for development purposes. But I think what they're going to what they were supposed to be doing is this was supposed to bring in money for the franchises for the franchises that are hosting the different teams. So, for example, Newlands, Western Province, etc. Joburg Super Kings, obviously Lions, etc., etc. And it was supposed to pump money into those organizations so that that can be obviously divided amongst different things that within the space. Um, at least that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought CSA was going to take some of the money and also put it back into development cricket. TTC Sunday's game has been sold out for about 3 weeks now. Couldn't even get tickets in time. Macmillan says, us Durban people don't like rain. If I see a grey cloud, we forage for snacks and hibernate. Eugene says, seeing Maharaj go off made me quite worried given his injury earlier last year. At the captain's presser, I saw that there was something wrong with his finger, and I did ask him, "Are you okay? Are you all good?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah, he's okay." But he had like a little bit of a protection on his finger, those clamp type of protections on his finger. So I don't know if it's that. I hope that he's okay. I hope that it's not a serious injury. Savir says, "Who's that Kaber guy?" Kaber was in the S under 19 team way back, but he plays for SWD in the second division, if I'm not mistaken. So that's who he is. I was also quite shocked to see him in uh, in the team. Um, when you look at his stats and how his T20 stats as an all rounder, um, I do feel that there are a lot of other players that could that could compete for a spot over him. Um, but yeah, he plays for SWD in the second division. Lawrence or Southwestern District for the people that don't know what SWD is. Um, Lawrence says the closest thing to Quentin de Kock we have in our system is Quentin de Kock. That's why I was surprised. Rickelton, I know what you meant. That's why I was so surprised why he didn't make any pro to squad this summer. Yeah, let's see how he does in this tournament now. Um, Ryan Rickelton today really played shots like Quentin de Kock. Uh, if Quentin de Kock scored runs today, they would have probably put split screens on the screen to show the shots played from Ryan and Quentin because it almost looked identical. TT, the question is though, will the money go to the right places? Because for as long as there's no funding at grassroots level, and I don't mean the top schools, our talent pool is going to be limited. Yeah, we need to invest in grassroots level, but we need to invest correctly and spread the money out equally. Lana says his performance in both white ball and red ball cricket the past 3 seasons also backs that up. Yeah, it has been a weird one with Ryan Rickelton. I thought that he would be backed a little bit longer in Test cricket, and I thought that he would be given an opportunity in ODI cricket as well. I mean, he's been parts of squads but not gotten a chance really. So it is a bit puzzling what's happening with him. Why are they selecting him for squads but they're not giving him enough chances to actually play? He's played 2 ODIs so far. He hasn't really done anything in them. But I don't think that is anywhere near enough for a player of his quality. In his 4 matches in Test as well, he hasn't really shown much. So maybe they're seeing something in his technique or something that is maybe affecting them or stopping them from picking him again. But I think that any youngster that gets an opportunity should be doing should become more consistent, and we should be given more chances. Eugene says, I was surprised to see Kaba play, but I was also excited. I've seen him play a few times. He's a handy bowler. Titi says, Harley, thanks for the shows today. Have a rest. It's going to be a long month. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing my shows at this time in the evenings now. I don't think I can do the 2 shows a day because earlier on when I did stream, nobody really clicked on because the game was on. So I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to be watching the game and not going to be watching me on YouTube. So I'm going to do that shows after the game, after the SA20 game, and we'll do a combined show of SA20 plus a daily show if there's anything that is important that we need to speak about. Sometimes it depends on how I feel. I'm going to go on how I feel. I might give you guys a cool interview in between. Um, if I can get some guys that are not in the SA20 to come have a chat with me, then I will be doing that. So that is something that I'll definitely do. You're heading to Paul tomorrow. I don't. It's limited space at Paul for the media. We can only send one person per publication, so I'm sending someone there to do some behind the scenes and videos because I'll have to do the show straight afterwards, and to come from Paul all the way here and do the show because I can't shoot it from the stadium. The connection, the Wi-Fi and stuff is not stable enough for me to be able to shoot from the stadium. So I'm gonna have to come all the way back home first, which is almost a 40-minute drive, and then I'm only going to shoot the show like after 10, and I don't think anybody's going to be awake then. So I'm going to have to be shooting the show after the game tomorrow from home and cover the game from home. Matt 92 says, this is the best I've seen Rickelton bat in T20. I haven't always seen him as a T20 player, but maybe this season he can change that. Yeah, hopefully this is the season where he will perform in the SA20, because last season he performed here and there, but he wasn't consistent enough. So I'm hoping he can keep up this consistency. It's time that Ryan Rickelton gets, I think, a more extended run in the national side when he does get picked. I do think that would be only fair to him as a player. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and we're really close. So please go ahead and subscribe straight away. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest of Cricket Fanatics magazine. Every issue is 100% free. We got the SA20 edition out now, so subscribe. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. So thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another show after the match. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your evening, and peace out, everybody.